Hey, what's up, everybody? It is time for Forward Live, and this is the live stream, the podcast where we talk about real solutions to real problems, happens in real life to help you maximize your life, to increase the ROI, return on investment in your life. And today I have a very special topic I want to talk about because normally on Sunday mornings, I don't really delve into the spiritual much anymore. I try to focus on things that I can share that have helped me, that may help you, and that's what I'm doing. But I had some valuable lessons to learn because, as many of you know, I spent 30 years in ministry. And during that time, I was also in management, I was in leadership. And one of the things that I learned that helped me attain a certain level of success in that was the ability to separate spirituality from leadership. And I tell you something, there are people that will tell you that it's essential that you bring your faith into your management or leadership. And and I'm here to tell you that that's really not a correct paradigm. And the biggest reason why, number one, is that faith is a personal thing. What you believe in is personal. And me being an atheist, just to qualify things, I don't want it to sound as if I'm just dogging out religion, which I do. But what I want to say is that I respect anybody's beliefs as long as their beliefs are personal. It's when they spread out into business and government and society in general, and basically when people try to steamroll their viewpoint, their religious viewpoint, in the general populace. And I think that that's a bad thing. But I want to stick to the subject here. I don't want to get too far off in the weeds or too far off in the ditch here, because one of the things that we have to do is we have to remember that everybody believes differently. I don't care if people are in the same denomination, the same church, they study on the same pastor, study from the same book. It doesn't matter. Everybody believes it differently. Everybody believes it differently. And what happens is when you're in leadership, you have the ability to influence people's decisions. You have the ability to, dare I say, proselytize in the workplace. And that's not a good thing, not a good look at all. So it's important to separate spirituality from leadership because you want to create an inclusive environment that respects all beliefs, right? You want to make sure that your beliefs do not create an atmosphere of inequality, because what happens is that if you believe a certain way and other people believe a certain way, believe that way, and they know you believe that way, you're more likely to promote them, to give them more plum assignments, things like that. And you can't do that. Not if you're going to have a successful business that is open, that is inclusive, that basically has an outreach to everyone, right? So what you want to do is you want to develop some strategies and considerations to foster inclusivity, fairness, and effectiveness, right? So the first thing is like I said, spirituality is deeply personal, and you can't bring your religious viewpoint into your business, because again, what happens is you run the risk of alienating certain employees, you run the risk of alienating certain customers, you run the risk of isolating yourself as a business, isolating your customer base, and pretty soon the whole thing will go off the rails. So you gotta be careful to make sure that you're understanding the difference between spirituality and leadership. So leadership basically is taking people somewhere they ordinarily wouldn't go, or getting them to do something they ordinarily wouldn't do. That's the key to leadership. Leadership is helping people to tap into potential that they don't know they have. And when you're an effective leader, you're going to help people extract potential from themselves that they didn't know they had. They're going to do things that they ordinarily wouldn't do. They're going to grow. Leadership is a catalyst to growth. And if you're an effective leader, you're going to help people grow. But what happens is that if you're trying to help people grow in your particular belief system, you're not helping them grow professionally. And that's the key. So one of the things that you want to make sure you do is that you're setting shared values. In other words, operational excellence, excellence in execution, excellence in delivery, attention to detail, things like that. These are shared values. They're irrespective of anyone's faith, of anyone's beliefs. And what happens is when you set shared values, basically you're saying, okay, we have a singular message insofar as our business is concerned. And what we're doing is we're putting in principles, values, things like that that help our business grow in the direction that we want to grow. But if you're doing this from the standpoint of your own personal faith paradigm, again, you run the risk of isolating your business. And here's the thing, you may have enough business that is, say, Christian or Muslim or Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever you are, but chances are you don't. Because if you appeal to just a minority segment, that's all the business that you'll get. And eventually you'll hit a saturation point, and if there are any other competitors that are doing the same thing, what happens is that your niche becomes saturated, and there's no differentiation, and there's no possibility for you to grow beyond that. So the other thing too, you want to make decisions from a secular standpoint. You want to make your decisions based on objective criteria. You want to use data, evidence, rational thinking instead of your personal spiritual beliefs, right? You want to make sure that your decisions ensure fairness, transparency, and equal treatment for everybody. That's what you want, right? You don't want something that makes some people feel as if they are better than others, or people to feel inferior to others. If you're dedicated to equal opportunity and dedicated to giving everybody an opportunity to succeed, to maximize their own potential, you have to make sure that your decision making is very secular. Now, I know that there are some people that don't want to hear this. They say, I run a Christian-run business. Okay, that's fine. Not really, but if that's what you want to do and you're completely satisfied with the potential outcome from that perspective, then baby boy, baby girl, have at it. Do you, boo. but don't expect a broader result. Don't expect something bigger. Don't expect growth. You have to say, if I'm going to run my business based on my faith paradigm, be prepared to only grow to the level of your understanding. You won't ever grow beyond that, right? So the other thing too, people, a big thing now in business is we talk about work-life balance. And I honestly believe that if we understood the difference between work and life, that we would never have to discuss this, that work is work and life is life, right? And one of the problems is that's come from the whole work from home paradigm is that, and I know that this is me, because I work from home, I don't have to commute. My work day is longer. I work many more hours. I'll have an idea that comes up after my normal working hours, and I'll get to it. I'll start working again. So as a result, my work life balance suffers. And one of the things that happens is that with if you inject your spiritual beliefs into your business model, let me give you an example. Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A are both closed on Sundays because there's something about their faith, right? That they don't operate on those days. They consider it the Lord's Day. And fine, if your business model can handle that, that's great. But you also have to look at opportunity costs, right? And opportunity costs are what is the cost of me not doing something, of me not taking advantage of an opportunity. Let's just say Chick-fil-A. I'm going to use them as a specific example because imagine if Chick-fil-A were open on Sundays and the church crowd was able to go to Chick-fil-A after church. What would be the difference in their revenue? I don't know specifically. I could sit down and maybe run some statistics on it and build a model around that. And I'm confident, I'm very confident that my model would suggest that Chick-fil-A would have a significant increase in their revenues by opening on Sundays. That's just the thing. Equal opportunity. And again, this is the law. This is business law. That if you're going to have a business, you have to adhere to equal opportunity law. Because if you don't do that, you can run afoul of you can get fined by the government. You can run into tax trouble. There's all kinds of problems that can come up from not providing equal opportunity. And normally when we think about equal opportunity, we think of like race, we think of gender, we think of sexual orientation. Those are openly easy, let me say easy to discern differentiators, right? But religious affiliation is another. Because if you're bringing your spirituality into things and you're saying, okay, well, Jane over here, she subscribes to my same religious beliefs, and she basically embraces the same sort of interpretation of the Bible as I do, and because of that, and she's good at really witnessing to people and effective at sharing her faith, and because of this, I'm going to promote her. Well, what happens is that other people see that and they say, well, I'm a Christian, but I don't adhere to this particular interpretation, and now I'm being left out. And this is literally an equal opportunity situation because the person who feels left out, who feels slighted, who feels that they've been looked over, they actually have a case that they could bring up to EEOC and make trouble for your business. So if you leave the religious framework out of it, then you can actually focus on things like operational excellence and attention to detail and customer service and all of these things, all the standard things that help businesses succeed, right? So if you do those things, now we can start talking about, okay, these are the things that we're going to do. This is our path to victory. This is the way of working that's going to give us success, and we stick to that. You have to learn to separate what you believe in from what you believe. And what I mean by that is that you can believe that success comes from hard work, that success comes from attention to detail, that success comes from quality product or service, that success comes from operational excellence. All of these things, and those are things that you can believe, but that's not what you believe in. What you believe in is very personal. That's a very personal, individual choice that should not bleed over into your management or leadership decisions. Okay. The other thing too is that when we talk about continuous learning and development, as a leader, it is incumbent upon you to make sure that the people who you're leading, that they have opportunity to learn, to grow, that they're sufficiently challenged and they are sufficiently rewarded, right? Well, if you're not engaging in continuous learning and development that's secular, like for example, you could have, like, say, a Bible study at lunch. And if you have this Bible study at lunch and you have some people that choose not to participate in it, well, it's easy to find those people who don't participate, right? But here's another one, is that you may have this Bible study and people show up and they don't, and it's easy to, to ferret that out as well. And what happens is that you, as the leader, now you're looking at, okay, this is something that's very important to me. This is something that really drives my life paradigm, and I've made this available to everybody, but these people are involved, but they're not participating, and then these people are not involved at all. And what happens is you begin to make judgments about that, who to promote, who to assign, all of these different things, right? And you can't do that. You just can't do that. Not if you hope to have real, genuine, continuous, and lasting success. Okay, so that's pretty much the thing there. And one of the things that you have to do is when you have conflicts, and these things happen, conflicts happen in the workspace. But if you have the choice between someone who believes like you and someone who doesn't, you're going to take sides with the person who you have this common faith fellowship with, and you may miss the bigger detail of or the bigger picture of what's going on in this particular conflict. And so you want to make sure that, again, if you make your decision model for your business secular and not sacred, you're going to have a smoother running and more successful business. So I want to close up by saying this, that if you separate spirituality from leadership, you're going to create an inclusive, fair, and effective leadership environment, right? You're going to respect diverse beliefs. You're going to focus on shared values, and you're going to make decisions based on these shared values and not what your personal beliefs are, right? So another thing too is that if you embrace secular leadership practices, you can navigate differences better, promote fairness, and create an environment where everybody feels respected and valued. And this is the approach you want to take to thrive in the diverse and complex world of modern leadership. And that, my friends, is what I have for you today. And I hope that this is something useful. And if it is, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know if this is something that you could relate to, if this is something that you think is helpful. And more to the point, if you think that this is helpful, please be sure to share it with someone, because sharing is caring. It helps the algorithm. But most importantly, this is something, if you think that this is useful, somebody could benefit from this. Their business can get better. Their life can get better. And that's what this show is all. Want to go through real quick and just give some shout outs to the people that showed up today. Shelly, Thank you for joining, Henry, my man Henry Harris. Thank you for joining, Jimmy Ligon. Be sure to check out Jimmy on Thursday nights, the Unreligious Facebook Live show. He had really, really interesting topics, interesting guests, and he really just kicks religion in the nuts every Thursday night, and I love it. C. Rodriguez, thank you for your consistent support. You really make my heart full because you're always here for all of the shows that I do, that Aaron and I do, and I'm just grateful for you. So that's pretty much it. Want to thank you as always for attending my TED Talk, and until the next time, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be filled with peace. Love y'all.